1 million people are expected to attend. It features 552 players from 24 countries. There's $30 million prize money. It's being hosted in France right now and being shown on the BBC. Is the excitement mounting, panel?
Yes.
Or would you prefer, Nick, to spend the evening washing your hair than watching the Women's Football World Cup? As I thought. The purse is a mere 7.5% of the men's tournament in 2018. But the money isn't the main problem. It's awareness and attitude. Panel, I am part of the problem. Have I ever watched women's football? No. Apart from a few clips on YouTube in preparation for this. Our national team could bring football home, but still, women's team sports never get the eyeballs or the investment or the media interest that men's games do. This year, the Lionesses could win the World Cup. But how will we make anyone sit up and pay attention?
Man's football, women's football, which is the better? There's only one way to find out. It's the battle of the sexes. So we need you to, Greg, Rach, pull on your boots, pull on your socks, and let's cross to Sky Sports legend in the glorious sunlit surroundings. Nick Powell, over to you.
Hello and welcome to the prestigious Soccer AM Stadium for the ultimate test of footballing prowess, the Pledge penalty shootout in these glorious footballing conditions. It is youth versus experience, it is brain against brawn, and yes, man against woman. There have been some fantastic skills on display already, and the crowd can't wait to see what these two have in store. Let's meet the players. Name, Rachel, left back in the dressing room, Johnson. Age, bit over 21. Team, Shades UK United. And her position, she's a super sub. Name, Greg, fast and furious Dyke. Age, well, he's had a letter from the Queen. Team, Chelsea Pensioners FC. And his position, not a keeper. In goal for the big occasion, the Pledge is Fat Cat lawyer, Matt the Cat Mackenzie. So here we go, and it is Rachel Johnson to go first. Mackenzie is ready, and... oh, what a disappointment. Here is Dyke. Here he goes. Oh. Well, that is copycat football, and it is bad football, and it is 0-0. And Rachel Johnson, a chance to take the lead. Straight at the goalkeeper. Well, at least it was on target. Oh, Dyke with a second one straight at the goalkeeper. This could be the one that wins the Pledge penalty shootout. Oh, it's a fantastic effort. It is Rachel Johnson in the lead. How about that? And the pressure now is on Dyke. The experience. Can he do it? Oh, he can! It's a draw. 1-1 that's going to go to a sudden death. Decider. Here goes Rachel Johnson with the pressure on. It's straight at Mackenzie. And this is the chance for Greg Dyke, the former boss of the FA, to show that he's still got it up for all these years. Oh! No! Got it. Mackenzie will be disappointed with that. Well, it was really tense, wasn't it? And Rachel took it all the way beyond the wire into sudden death. But the winner is, at the age of 642, Greg Dyke receiving that magnificent trophy. Well done, sir.
Thank you so much. Victory.
And thanks to Sky Sports, Nick Powell, well done, well done. Yes, tremendous out of four. Can I just remind the viewers?
I want to come in here. I've since discovered this was fixed, right? It was fixed.
You won!
No,
yes.
It was fixed for me to lose.
And
the
you won.
lawyer got it wrong on the last two shots. And you think, well, that's what we have lawyers for, isn't it? Really?
I just want to point out to the viewers that you've now seen playing football the man who used to run the BBC in the FA and the woman who's possibly the sister of our future Prime Minister. Right, simple numbers this is. I wish the girls nothing but luck. I hope they win. It would be great. You're right, I'm afraid I'm not watching it. It hasn't broken through. Probably my fault. I might argue perhaps a marketing fault.
Why aren't you watching?
Just hasn't resonated with me. But I also say this, and I find it fascinating. There's, if you look at, and I like football as I've told you, at the weekend when the big teams play, Old Trafford, Manchester United, you probably get either side of 60,000 people. Chelsea absolutely packed out 40, 50,000, the same with the Emirates at Arsenal. Leicester City always packed out just under 40,000. You will have the biggest girls' game, women's game in the Premiership. and you'll get 1,500, 2,000 people. And that is the reality. So
Okay,
don't blame this one. Try and get
something?
the breakthrough.
In researching this topic, I learnt about the 1971 Women's World Cup in Mexico, in which the England team, not then called the Lionesses, I don't think, were playing. And they were playing to crowds of 110,000 in Mexico.
That's not here.
Admittedly, but this was in
That's not in Britain.
1971. It had cut through. It has had absolutely no support from the FA. And you know what the FA did?
The FA,
they banned women from playing.
For 50 years.
Yeah, so can you explain that?
Those terrible old men on the council of the FA thought it wasn't the proper thing for women to do.
That's why we
And
don't
they
have
banned
women.
them. The truth is, the reason it's revived in this country, although, is also because of the FA. And they have done pretty well in the last 5, 6, 7 years. And it's quite interesting. You saying,
and it's growing.
Yes, it's growing. I've got a figure here, something like there's 1,774 new women's and girls' teams were registered last year. Now, that's at a time when men's teams, not boys' teams, but men's teams are in decline. It's really quite interesting.
But Greg, it's the lack of money, isn't it? I mean, there's been Barclays this year have done a multi-million sponsorship for the Women's Super League, but until now. But you mentioned before that
there's a woman running football at the FA called Baroness Sue Campbell, who is the most effective person I've ever seen at getting money out of the organisation.
Wow.
She is pouring money into women's football, and the results are there.
But 49% of women who play for professional teams don't get any money. They don't get paid. So you might not be attracting the people that you need to attract. But you know, what you just said before, I think, you know, I look at those women and I'm full of, I'm in awe of them and at their dedication, the hard work, how bloomin' good they are. And you know, you talked about the FA banning it for a long time. Women's football was around in the 1800s, and women played it in the 1800s.
That's a global figure, about 49%, just to point out.
It is a global figure. No, I know
I think it's a bit of a false comparison. I think we can't compare women's football to men's football because of the fact that it was banned for 50 years. We're starting so behind.
Sure.
And actually, if you look at how quickly it's become something that young people are excited about, I think that it's moving in the right direction. And yes, in terms of prize money, there's a huge difference between men and women. So in 2018, the Men's World Cup total prize money was $400 million. And the following year for women, it was $30 million. And believe it or not, I don't actually have a problem with this, because if you look at how established men's football is, of course you're going to have this discrepancy. But if we win the World Cup, I bet you totally.
But if you look at the actual numbers, I mean, they are pitiful. I mean, women footballers get £1,000 a month. Men football get hundreds of £1,000 a month.
Yeah, but look at the head start rate.
Look at the viewing figures. Right? What really has changed women's football in this country is the BBC playing it on BBC One and BBC Two, playing international football. If you look at the viewing figures for the first England game in that tournament, it was an average of 4.6 million, and it's a peak of more than 6 million. Well, that's more than any game on pay television in the last 5 years.
The cricketers were getting 500,000 in the cricketing World Cup.
You have to pay to see that. That's not very fair.
But you know,
that's not a fair comparison, because one is free to air, one is not.
But the important thing, I mean, a lot of sports organisations have worked out that actually they need a mix between pay and free to air, because free to air gets people involved.
I'm going to seize the ball here, because I've really enjoyed today, because not only have we been able to quiz you about your time at the BBC and the free TV licence, you were, of course, chairman of the FA, and I'd like you, Greg, to take part in my little test. We're going to show you now three England players who played for England during your time. Can you, left to right, identify those three?
I can't see them very well. That's Martin Keown on the left, I think. On the right.
No, that would be Jordan Henderson. What about in the middle?
No, couldn't tell you that.
That would be John Stones. You were the chairman. Why should you know this?
Yes.
And the gentleman on the left?
Sterling?
Oh, right.
No, it's not
Sterling. It's not Sterling.
Danny Rose.
Yes. OK, so we've got 1 out of 3. But now, of course, I know you will trump all 3, because these are the women who played for England during your time as chairman of the FA in the 2019 World Cup squad.
I couldn't.
So, you know, of course, the goalkeeper is...
I couldn't tell you these.
Karen?
I think I know one of these.
I
think I know one of these. Is that Ada Hederberg on the
No,
right?
it's not. No, it's from left to right. Karen Bardsley, Jill Scott, and of course it's Fran. Franny Kirkby. Come on, everybody knows that. You knew that, Jim.
No,
I don't. I follow the team. I've got all the pictures in my annual.
OK, can I get the ball
I
back?
hope I said that right.
Because you say that it's very hard for fans to know who these people are. And this little girl who we're going to hear, she wrote a letter to Tesco or Sainsbury's because she wanted to collect World Cup stickers. And she went into her local superstore and there were men's stickers available, but not women's. So let's have a look at Imi's letter in complaint about this, which ends, I'm angry. I'm very, 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 very angry. Can you imagine being a girl deciding you're going to go in and fill your World Cup sticker book with stickers of your heroines, your sporting heroines and these pioneers on the pitch? Sainsbury's said it is selling the Women's World Cup stickers in the same number of stores as the men's, while Tesco said they were excited about the Women's World Cup, apologised to Imi for not stocking the stickers in her local store, but said they were available at their one-stop convenience stores.
But do you know the stickers they did have in the store? Glittery dollies. That's the stickers they had.
Or unicorns. Carol, your Brexit unicorn ones.
England win, Greg?
I think if England gets to the final, I think you'll see 10 million viewers easily.
I agree.
Yes, I think you'll see a massive. You'll see and so what's the breakthrough if they win?
Yeah, do you think you really that would be?
I think women's football is on a trajectory that's like that. The Women's Super League that was started by the FA is increasingly successful.
But it's got to get the money in,
but
hasn't it?
the numbers, yes, it's got to get the sponsorship.
Greg, do you think the excitement could be increased, if that's possible, Nick?
I know. I have to have a lie down sometimes.
By narrowing the goalposts. I mean, do you remember? No, there is a talk about this that the women
narrowing the goal, not the goalposts.
No, narrowing the goal.
The goal.
You know what I meant.
Between the goalposts.
Yeah, so you can make the game a bit more exciting.
That's patronising them.
No, it's something that has been
suggested. They would be furious at that.
Well, I mean, if you look at world football now, goalkeepers are all monsters. They're all massive.
Like base basketball.
Men's football. They're all.
And they do that.
If you're not 6'4", don't bother.
Exactly.
Don't
Well,
start.
not quite Jordan Pickford. No, but you see, the problem is one result. I think it was US v Thailand, but don't call me 13-0. Now, no one benefits from that because the team that wins 13, that's not been a game.
What do you mean?
They won 13. No. US beat Thailand 13-0, and the Thai girls were left in tears.
Was that probably because the Thais were very short and they couldn't defend the goal? I think we should narrow the goal.
OK.
And grow the women.
Right, me too. Just rest now, because you'll have both exerted yourself there. Coming up here on The Pledge, I'm telling you why I won't be joining in with the losers in Lycra.